Hello and welcome back to the third war of the season. We're going up against the Latin American players is the name of the alliance, I believe, and I am starting on path 4 again. I'm pretty sure this Longshot is here to be a little bit of a trap for the usual suspects here. You know, if you used Moleman against him and was proccing all of those unstoppable buffs into the block, it would probably be a pretty bad time against Longshot. So this is actually the first time I'm bringing Sp2099 in. It just kind of made sense to bring him here because I don't have to worry about Mystic Dispersion, and basically I'm going to be getting these debuffs on me that reduce my crit rate, but he doesn't really need crits to do his damage. He has the rupture bursting and the red damage and everything like that. So I do put on invulnerable because I do always worry a little bit about Longshot. But the thing with Longshot is if you take a special 1 while he has the Pure of Heart on, or if he throws a special 2, you're pretty much dead anyway. So you know, we're just doing what we can here to evade his special 1s. And I did practice this dash in and out technique. It's kind of like Void special 1. Recently learned that he can also do that. So we're doing plenty of damage. He does have Pure of Heart, so I have to be extra careful with my evades. And I noticed a weird interaction that I cannot explain. So watch when he throws his special 1. Look at my status meter. I'm gaining Furies, passive Furies from the node, steady buildup, which those are only supposed to happen when you purify a debuff. And obviously I'm not doing that. When the fatigues drop off, that doesn't count as a purify. You know, the heal block is still there. So there must be some really weird coded interaction between the buff immunity that you have with Spider-Man 2099 and some of Longshot's abilities with karma or something. I really cannot explain it, but I really benefited from this node in a way that I didn't think I would. And yeah, I'd love to get to the bottom of that. It doesn't really make sense to me, but yeah, Spider-Man 2099 can obviously handle those crazy power gaining mystics. But in that case, he also countered the node in a very strange way. So we'll get back to that one later. But I was kind of happy to finally use him on a pretty easy fight for him. And next up is Thing. This is also a little bit of a trap, because if you start hitting too hard, you're just going to trigger protection, and most people you bring in on this node is going to have some kind of purification, which grants the Furies. So as you can see, I already have 2 Furies, and I think I'm going to trigger protection on that hit. So that's good to know that my medium hits are going to trigger protection when I have a Fury or 2 on myself. So we got to bait this special. I accidentally well-timed blocked and did the counter evade there, so he did go unstoppable, but fortunately, because we were sort of keeping him toward the top of the power meter, he had a special 1 ready again. I mentioned this before. Her special 1 is one of my favorite special 1s to throw in the corner to get yourself out of it. When you get stuck in the back, it's really a good one for creating some distancing. So we're in pretty good shape because of that invulnerability boost, and because we shrugged the heal block, we were able to heal back on these little non-damaging debuffs that stick on us for a couple seconds. I suppose that's a slight benefit to her kit, is that they do stick on you for about 2.5 seconds, so you get like 5 ticks of regen before they disappear. And at this point, I'm not really caring about the Furies. I know that protection is going to come into play, but it doesn't look like he's max sig or anything, so I'm still able to do a little bit of damage. And, you know, I'm planning to get this fight down in about 90 seconds, which against a node that kind of forces you to trigger protection, that really isn't that bad at all. And, you know, you can certainly use the usual suspects like Moleman or Shang-Chi there as well. I do think that Elsa hits a little less hard, especially her special 1 hits don't hit that hard in general, so they're not going to trigger protection. So I do like her there a little bit better. And she's going to continue on path 4. It just once again kind of worked out that she could take almost all the fights. My plan here, I have the ghost boost on for later, by the way. My plan here is to try to get him to trigger an evade so that then I can cold snap him for the rest of the time. And the way to do that is if I evade at the beginning, then it may trigger one. So let's see how this fight starts. Awesome start. She was just standing there. I swear that's not what I was inputting, but fortunately that indestructible came in the clutch, and that was the only damage that we took as far as I remember. So there we go. When I evade, he gets the purple monkey scheme, which means that he has a chance to evade. He evaded. I just did a medium ending combo, and now we have cold snap for the rest of the fight. And we're unblockable because we're purifying the armor breaks and the heal blocks and everything. We're gaining precisions from that. So, anytime I do these fights, I like to kind of walk you through Elsa's kit again because people may not be familiar with them. But, she, every 2.5 seconds or so, she's got this rotating timer where she's just shrugging the debuffs, and the node gives her unblockable and her kit gives her precision. So, she just can own that fight. And the fact that she also has the evade counter for Hitmonkey means if you plan for him to evade once, you're good for the rest of the match. So now we have a Void. I've taken Void every war, I think, so far, and he is back. This is a different node than the last time, but it's another place where Elsa can dominate. I'm going to put on combat regen just because you always know you're going to take a little bit of damage at the start of this fight with the heal block debuff. So we're getting this one started, and if I recall, this one also was a little sloppy. I think I missed an evade of a special 1 or something. So we're unblockable because we shrugged the 1 debuff. I usually like to try to get to my special 1, which gets you exactly to 20 hits right as the first debuff hits, and it kind of worked out that time. She will shrug it on her own, but the less time that it's on you, the better. And as you can see, the incinerates become cold snaps when you fight them, and that was the one where I just messed up the evade. I was just a little weird there, and then he did put a third debuff on me, so he went unblockable for like a split second. But even with that mishap where we could have continued to take the damage from his debuffs, they eventually shrugged, which means the unblockable went away, and we were also able to counter his unblockable attack by doing our well-timed block evade counter. So yeah, she really has so many safety nets in that fight. Even when I played not so well, it really kind of worked out. And finally, we have Waspless Ghost going against Moleman here. I've ghosted a lot of Moleman characters before, so I'm not super worried. I think these boosts are good. They may be a little low, actually, to get all the way back to Special 2, but they'll get it done. And the only reason she's here is because she has the easy openings. She doesn't rely on parry, so that we don't have to worry about any kind of shrugging, and she also has the free intercepts so that we can get the ebb and flow intercept node taken care of. And I don't really need Wasp here. It's not like it's a really difficult thing to chain my special 2s and all that. So I've been a little bit more cautious with Wasp as I've started fights lately. Actually, my first intercept was just a straight up medium intercept, which is kind of funny. And I'm just going to hold block and let him hit my block once or twice before throwing that special 2. So now we got to get rid of the protection again. A little next level strat there. I parried the shockwave there just to kind of not get backed up. That worked fine. There I baited a heavy by holding block, and again we get back to our special 2, just let him come to us and he goes down, no issues at all. So with this war, I actually was originally assigned a mini boss. I was going to be taking Doctor Strange on the power gain midi up on the left side, and I was actually really looking forward to that fight, but the problem is these wars are starting 2 hours early, and we couldn't really line up our schedules, and our boss killer kind of needed to go, and I had to go to a meeting, and we were waiting for some like read pre-fights, and long story short, it would have just been easier to have our boss killer sort of boost through the minis. It would save me a set of boosts, and he had Horseman Archangel ready to go and just took down the Doctor Strange. It was actually a little scarier than it should have been, but Horseman Archangel can pretty much hit everything. So it wasn't really a waste bringing Spider-Man 2099, but I did only take the one fight. And, I am actually looking forward to using him a little bit more. We have a couple in the battle group, but one of the other guys, Strands, who has one, also has a lot of good utility champs, so we couldn't send him with him today, and it was me. So anyway, pretty easy, pretty short war. We did end up losing. It was like 12-9 was the final score. So again, 12 is not the death count that we want. Our BG did pretty well. We ended up with just one death on sort of a fight that you wouldn't expect a death on. But, you know, it's something just kind of went south there. So we are winning the really difficult fights. In general, I think we're getting tighter as a BG. So, you know, we definitely contributed to the death counts in the early wars, though. So we are passing that around for sure between the other battle groups. And yeah, going into week 2, I hope that we have a really good start to the week on Thursday. And we are still in tier 1, so it's not the end of the world. And that's the end of this war. So thanks for checking it out, guys, and I'll catch you soon.